I remember the day my world shattered. It was my 18th birthday, a day that should have been filled with joy and celebration. Instead, it was the day my own family, the people who were supposed to love and protect me, turned their backs on me. They cast me out, leaving me with nothing but the clothes on my back and a heart full of betrayal. Why? Because I was deemed a failure, a stain on their pristine family reputation. My brother, the golden child, was their pride and joy. I was just the shadow he cast. They told me I would never amount to anything, that I was a disgrace. The cold, indifferent looks in their eyes are seared into my memory. That day, standing alone on the street, I made a vow. I wouldn't just survive, I would thrive. I would build an empire from the ashes of my broken heart, and one day I would return. Not as the boy they threw away, but as the man they could never be. The first few years were the hardest. I worked every menial job imaginable, from washing dishes in a grimy restaurant to sweeping floors on construction sites. Every night, I'd fall into my lumpy bed in a tiny rented room, my body aching, my spirit weary. But the fire inside me never went out. It was fueled by their words, by the memory of their betrayal. I saved every penny I could, sacrificing meals, sleep, and any semblance of a social life. While others my age were out having fun, I was studying. I devoured books on business, finance, and technology, teaching myself everything I needed to know. I knew that knowledge was my only weapon, my only way out. I started a small online business from my cramped room, selling niche products I researched obsessively. The first sale felt like a monumental victory. It wasn't much, but it was proof that I could do it. Proof that they were wrong. Slowly, painstakingly, my small venture began to grow. I reinvested every cent of profit, working 18-hour days, driven by a relentless ambition. There were so many moments of doubt, so many times I wanted to give up. I faced setbacks that would have crushed most people. A supplier scammed me, a shipment was lost, my website crashed during a crucial sales period. Each failure was a punch to the gut, but each time I got back up, more determined than before. I learned from my mistakes, adapted my strategies, and pushed forward. The memory of their smug faces was a constant motivator. I pictured them in their luxurious home, oblivious to my struggle, and it made me work even harder. I wasn't just building a business. I was forging my revenge, brick by painful brick. My small online store evolved into a brand, and then the brand became a company. I was no longer just surviving, I was starting to win. After a decade of relentless effort, I had built more than just a company. I had created an empire. My name was now synonymous with success in the tech industry. I was the CEO of a multi-billion-dollar corporation, a man people respected and admired. I had everything I could ever want: wealth, power, and influence. But one thing was still missing: closure. The time had come to return, to face the ghosts of my past. I orchestrated my return carefully. I bought out the company my father worked for, becoming his boss's boss. I watched from the shadows as panic set in, as the foundations of their comfortable world began to crumble. They had no idea who was behind it all. They just knew that their perfect life was falling apart. My brother, who had always looked down on me, lost his cushy job at a rival company that I strategically acquired and dismantled. Their world, built on arrogance and pride, was being deconstructed piece by piece. The day of our reunion was one I had replayed in my mind 1,000 times. I arranged a family meeting, but they had no idea it was me who summoned them. They walked into the grandest hotel suite in the city, the very hotel my company owned, looking worried and defeated. When I stepped out from the shadows, their jaws dropped. The shock, the disbelief, the dawning horror in their eyes was everything I had imagined. They saw not the worthless boy they had abandoned, but a powerful man who held their fate in his hands. My father, his face pale, stammered my name. My mother could only stare, tears welling in her eyes. My brother, the golden child, looked at me with a mixture of fear and envy. They started to apologize, to make excuses, to beg for forgiveness. They talked about family, about blood, about how they always loved me. The hypocrisy was staggering. I let them talk, I let them grovel. I listened to their desperate pleas, their pathetic attempts to rewrite history. And in that moment, watching them, I didn't feel the soaring triumph I thought I would. I didn't feel the satisfying sweetness of revenge. Instead, I felt empty. I realized that for 10 years, I had allowed their betrayal to define me. My entire life had been a reaction to their cruelty. These people standing before me were small, weak, and pathetic. They weren't the giants of my memory. They were just flawed, fearful humans. And I had become a giant, not to crush them, but in spite of them. My success wasn't my revenge. My success was my own. It was a testament to my own strength, my own resilience, my own hard work. They didn't deserve to be the reason for my greatness. They didn't deserve to have that power over me anymore. I looked at them, my family, and for the first time I saw them clearly. I saw their fear, their regret, and their powerlessness. And I felt a strange sense of pity. I told them that their apologies were 10 years too late. I told them I didn't want their money, their company, or their fake family reunion. I had built my own life, my own family with the loyal friends and colleagues who stood by me when I had nothing. My success is not for you, I said, my voice calm and steady. It's for me. It's for the boy you left on the street. And he doesn't need your approval anymore. I told them I wouldn't destroy them. That would be too easy, and it would keep me tied to them forever. Instead, I was going to do something far worse. I was going to forget them. I was going to walk away and live my incredible life, a life they would never be a part of. Their punishment would be to live with what they had done, to watch from a distance as the sun they cast aside continued to rise, forever out of their reach. And so I walked away. I left them in that opulent hotel suite, surrounded by the wealth they coveted but could no longer touch. Leaving them behind felt like shedding a massive weight I had been carrying for a decade. The fire for revenge had burned out, replaced by a quiet, steady flame of self-worth. I finally understood that true victory isn't about crushing your enemies. It's about rising so high that they become irrelevant. It's about building a life so full of joy, purpose, and love that there's no room for bitterness or hate. The past shaped me, yes, but it no longer controls me. My story isn't about revenge anymore. It's about resilience. It is about the incredible power we all have within us to overcome the darkest of circumstances and build our own destiny. My journey was long and incredibly difficult, and it started from a place of deep pain. If you're going through something similar, if you feel abandoned or hopeless, please know that your story isn't over. Your current situation does not define your future. The most powerful revenge is living well and finding your own happiness, independent of those who hurt you. It's about becoming the hero of your own story. Remember to be kind to yourself and, if you're struggling, never hesitate to reach out for help. There are people and resources available that can support you. Your strength is greater than you know. Thank you so much for listening to my story. It wasn't easy to share, but I hope it can inspire at least one person out there. If this resonated with you, please consider liking the video and subscribing to the channel for more stories about overcoming adversity and building the life you deserve. Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. Have you ever had to turn a painful experience into your greatest motivation? I'd love to hear from you. Until next time, stay strong and keep building your empire.